Now I'm going to talk about for loops. For loops in Python are a little bit different than the for loops that you've seen in C++. In Python, what you actually do is you iterate through the values in a container, rather than having a range of integer numbers. So like from I equals 0 to 10, you go through the values in a list. So for example, or the values in a string. It can be any sort of container that you can iterate through. So here I have a list A, which I filled with the first few Fibonacci numbers. Now, let's say I wanted to print all of the numbers in this list except for the number 13. What I could do then is I could do this with a for loop. So I can go for every number in my list. Let's print it. So for each num in list A, I am now going to check and see if it's the value for 13. So we want to print if it's not 13. So if num does not equal 13, I'm going to print that num, like so. So now if I run this code, I've printed all of the numbers in my list A except for the number 13. Now this is all well and good, but if I actually want to modify the list A in my for loop, I have to do something else. Let me show you what I mean. So let's say instead of printing it, I want to multiply every number by 2. So num times equals 2. Now after my loop, I'm going to print list A. Let's run this. That's probably not what you wanted. It printed list A as the original list. The reason this is so is because each time you go to each num, or each value in list A, it actually makes a copy of that value. Then it modifies that copy. So if inside here, I just print num, like this, you'll get something that looks like right here. Yep, you see, so there you have the Fibonacci numbers that are all multiplied by 2 over here. And then you have the original list A. So how do I get the original list A to actually be modified? To do this, you have to index into this list. Same way that you index into an array in C++, you have to index into this list array. To do this in a for loop, then what we have to do is we have to have some sort of counter. So in here, we really want something that's like list A of some counter variable, maybe it will be I times equals 2. How do we get that I? Well, what we can do is we can make another list which consists of all of the indices in list A. To do this, you do something called range. So if I did range of 10, this here, and let's say I print it, this is going to print a list that has the numbers 0 to 9 in it. So let's run it. Yep, there I have 0 to 9. It has this traceback error because I have this list of A of I in here, which I haven't defined I. But you can see my range of 10 over here makes a list. So what I can do is really I want a list here that is as long as list A so I can index in. So what I can do is if I go in range of the length of list A. So if I print, let's say instead of range of 10 here, I do range of the length of list A. And let's print that one. I'm going to get another interpreter error here. Yep. Oh, it's not even going to let me do that. So I actually have to type something. Let's say print num. Okay, let's try again. Okay, so you can see here, my printing the range of length of list A gives me the indexes 0 through 7. So 8 indexes, this thing is 8 long. So down here, let's say I want to actually modify my original list A. What I can do is just change this num to I because it's now a counter, not the num in it. Then I go list A of I times equals 2. Now, if I print list A at the end here, and I print it at the beginning up here, the new list A will have been modified. So let's see. Yep, there we go. The second one has been multiplied by 2.